Hey guys, how we doing? And welcome to Lee Slot Cars for another sort of show time. Normally done on Thursday, but obviously today is Sunday because I wasn't about on Thursday. So I'm going to do it today. Before I get onto the car of choice for today, which I haven't actually decided on as yet. This is all a bit rushed and thrown together, as usual. Before I go on to that, I've been having a bit of an email conversation with Martin Jackson about all things stock car related, and we've had a little chat, which has been good. I've enjoyed that, and he's been busy chipping some cars, and we've just been sort of throwing ideas around. But he asked me a question the other day: what is the best material to do builds out of? Obviously, you may have guessed that I'm a big fan of Foamboard, but I always use a bit of MDF, normally the magnetic racing offcuts and things like that. And he was asking what is the best material to use. Well, really, they both have their own strengths, and I enjoy using them both equally, believe it or not. How can I explain? Let me show you. Okay, here we have Foamboard MDF. Let me sit down while I'm doing this. Back's killing me. Foamboard, first of all. Well, I use a lot of it. You may have noticed in previous videos. Yes, I have been called the Foamboard King, and I love it because it's cheap. You can buy 4 A1 sheets of the stuff for, I think it's £12 or 14, can't remember. So it's really cheap to buy. It's really easy to work with and cut. So you've got a relatively sharp blade, you can cut it, you can score it, so if you want to bend it, if you want to have it going around curves, you can bend it and score it. So it's really easy to work with. Painting wise, it's not great because it's quite glossy, so you do need sometimes 3 coats of paint on top of it to make it really show out and make it not be especially streaky. It sticks really easily with hot glue, so you can really quickly build a substantial structure in no time at all using Foamboard. You measure, you cut, you stick. Everything about it is simple and straightforward. It does have its limitations though, and that's why I love using MDF. MDF is a bit more expensive, obviously, especially if you're doing a big build with bigger sheets. It doesn't come cheap, but in terms of being able to work with it, it's a lot thinner, so all the edges are a lot cleaner, a lot tidier, because obviously when you stick Foamboard on like that, you always get this rough edge here, which I've started capping it now, with little bits of MDF. So if I've got a join like that, I'll just pop a little bit over the top or something like that. But that's if you're really sort of particular about detail, which sometimes I am, sometimes not so. So this really is a great product, and I think if I had, one of those little mini bench saws, I'd probably use a lot more of this, because the only downside for me, because I haven't got the right tools for the job, is cutting it. And cutting it in straight lines is okay. I use a separate Stanley knife for cutting MDF because it knackers the blades out in seconds. And so if I wanted to cut a curve in this, for example, I would really struggle. It would be really hard to do with a Stanley knife. With a straight line, it's fine. You can press a ruler up to it and cut a straight line. So most things I do with MDF are straight lines. But the best builds, or a lot of my best builds, in my opinion, and my favourite ones, are ones where I've used a combination of the two. So I've used Foamboard for the main structure of the building to get the whole sort of big structure of the building in place, and then I've used a lot of small parts of MDF excuse me, just to sort of go over it and clad it. So I often do the front of buildings, where you've got, I don't know, a bit of cladding going on, and painting the background and highlighting these. And I think the combination is the absolute best scenario. So when we're talking about what's best for modelling horses, for courses, my friends, it depends what you're building. But, and this sounds like I'm really sitting on the fence, the combination of the two materials gives it that extra dimension. You can get the bulk of the work done relatively quickly, which means you can then spend time on doing a bit more detailed work with the MDF. Hope that's cleared it up. I need to find a car. Actually, quickly, before we look at the car, look out for my video tomorrow, as in Monday, because this is my best foam build of all time, in my humble opinion. Hope you like it. That's coming up tomorrow. But anyway, let's look at this car. So, this week's car is the Ford Daytona Prototype. This was a present. This was a Christmas present. I think this was a Christmas present for my dear old mum. It was. And I just love it. This was on my list of cars I want to get. And it's not the sort of thing I would normally go for. But I love this because I love the colours on it. The colours are absolutely stunning. The EcoBoost, the blue, the red, white and blue. It's just absolutely to die for. It's got loads of really small detailed decals on it. They probably don't show up too well on the camera, but it's a lovely looking car. And when I saw this, I thought I need this in my collection, and it is fast. Now when I do the 10-lap trial, I think this will come up quite highly on the leaderboard. But having said that, I've said that before about cars, and they've been sort of a bit disappointing, but I don't think this will be. I thought, as it's quite long, it might be a bit slip-slidey, but it's not. It's got a magnet in. I run all my cars with magnets. I've tried magless and it just doesn't work for me. But you know, people are either pro or against, and I'm definitely pro magnets. And yeah, I think you'll agree. It's a lovely, beautiful looking car. I'm going to get this on the track shortly. Let's just get a bird's eye view. I'm creating a bit of a shadow, but yeah, if you look at it from the top, it's stunning, isn't it? Absolutely stunning. It's another one, you know, that doesn't get loads of track time. I really should run more laps with this, and that's what I'm going to do today. But I need to clean the track first. So, okay, one way to find out. Let's give it 10 laps. Okay, here we go. 10 laps with the Ford Daytona Prototype. First couple of laps, I'm going to run in quite slowly. Just getting a feel for it. Just pushing it a little bit more. It hugs this bottom curve really nicely. It's a bit slower on the right hand side of the track, but it's certainly fast on the second half of the track. Oh, I was pushing it on that bend. Okay, let's see how we did. Well, my friends, that was something special. Best lap, 6.63 seconds. Unbelievable. Okay, so if we have a look at the leaderboard, you will now see that the Ford Daytona, by a country mile, is top of the leaderboard. 663, so it's 0.6 almost faster than the Mustang, Ford Mustang. Absolutely flew. It felt good when I was driving it. I had a bit of a twitchy throttle finger as well for some reason, but the Daytona has blown everything away, and I don't know what I've got in my collection that can challenge that. There you go. Ford Daytona, fastest car on the track so far. Really enjoyed that, and I'm going to give the track a really good clean now. It's going to take some time. Being in the shed, moisture condensation isn't too bad. This insulation really helps, but I need to look after it, because there's no point having a nice layout with all the scenery and a lovely collection of cars if you don't clean the track, because it'll end up like a pile of dogs. Well, you know what I mean. So I'm going to do that and have some fun. So thanks for watching, guys. You all take care, my friends. Bye now.